Hey everyone, I'm at the AMC 17 Theater here in Fayetteville, Georgia. I just saw Black Panther right here in 3D. I have to tell a story. The first movie that Ryan Coogler is director and Michael B. Jordan is actor paired in, teamed up to make, was called Fruitvale Station, about the events leading up to the murder of Oscar Grant in Oakland. The pair have teamed to make some incredible movies since then, like Creed, for example. But Black Panther is an instant classic. But it's also a personal story of us, of African Americans. And the reason I say that is when I was coming up in Chicago, I was born in 1962, hence Zenny62 on YouTube, right? There was something called the Back to Africa movement. And I was, when this first started, and I was aware of it, 4 years old. And I remember saying to my mother, I'm from Chicago, not Africa. I thought I was going to be kidnapped by some person or thing or force or group and, yeah, deported to Africa. My mom said, no, you're from Chicago. There's always been a kind of an uneasy relationship between blacks who were born here and blacks who were born in Africa, be they come here or interact. And then it was considered at that time less than desirable to be from Africa, and Malcolm X changed that in a way when he went and made peace with his African brothers. As time went on and information exchanges and generations passed, blacks in America and blacks in Africa became closer, and the stigmas went away. But there were always these thoughts that, well, okay, this African brother thinks he's better than I am. You probably have heard them. Or something, some variation of that theme, right? What Black Panther does is it uses that relationship, that historic edge, that tension, as the basis for an incredible story of unity. It's based around the fictional nation of Wakanda that used its technology based around vibranium to hide itself from the world, fearing that its technological advances will be stolen by the colonizers, those who are white. One of the relatives of King T'Challa's father, his son, was left behind in, of all places, Oakland, California. That's right, where I live, Oakland. I have the Raiders badge right here. See that? Oakland Raiders, not Las Vegas. And he was left behind as a small boy. He grew up to, like many of us who grew up here, if we are not fortunate to gain means, become resentful of the system. But he knew his origins were in Wakanda. So he sought for years, for decades, to engineer a way to return to Wakanda and gain what he believed was his rightful place in life, was the throne. And that meant toppling King T'Challa, the son of the father who murdered his father. There's more to it that I think would be complete if you saw it yourself, but the end of the movie is a true unity between subcultures among those of us, and a fascinating explanation and an excellent telling of a story about what it means to be black and what it means to have pride of self more than anything. The movie is an incredible triumph. It really is. And the simple fact that it was made by Marvel, I know some people have said, well, it's an appeasement to African Americans, or, you know, blacks. I don't see that as the case at all. I think this happened, that this was made, is exemplary of how we've come as far as a society, okay? And where we can go from there. It says a lot about our future, a lot that's positive. And also, it's not a movie that you have to be black to see or understand. Everybody should see the movie. And think about it. It's like any other movie you'd see that is like Game of Thrones, based on real cultures, but fictional, but they happen to be white. This is the same thing, but it happens to be black. It's a good story with a lot of great real-life lessons. So congratulations to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan and Marvel Studios for making an incredible film.